Melanie, hi. How are you feeling? All right, let's work on the 24 again. I think you did the first two moves. Is that correct? Let's review those. Let's do them a couple of times, and then I'm going to ask you to do them. Even if you can't remember them, just struggle through because that way I can see where you're at, and then we'll review them. All right? So hold on. Just a second. Now I'm going to do it one time with my back to the camera. Okay, let me see you do it. Okay, not bad, not perfect, but not bad. We've got some things we need to work on. So let's work on the first move first, which you did pretty well. But there was one point toward the end that was a little obscure. The second move definitely needs a little work. All right, so let's go back to the first move. So there's three parts to the first move, or as they do in France. All right, three parts to the first move. The first are 3 Lee circles. All right. Reverse Lee circle and push out. Forward Lee circle and pull down. Reverse Lee circle and press down. Reverse Lee circle and push out. Forward Lee circle and pull down. Reverse Lee circle and press down. Reverse Lee circle and push out. Forward Lee circle and pull down. Reverse Lee circle and press down. All right? Let me see you do that. You did it fine before, but let me see it again. Good. All right. The second part of that move are side-to-side circles, shoe circles. And those look like these. All right. Clockwise and push out. Counterclockwise and press down. Clockwise and push out. Counterclockwise and press down. Clockwise and push out. Counterclockwise and press down. All right, let me see you do that. Good. Now, let's do them both together from the beginning. Let me see you do it. Good. Once more. Good. I see what's happening here. Your camera seems to be moving around. Has it got a certain function on there? Okay, because that was tricking my eye. It was moving around. What's she doing? Well, you're not doing it. The camera is. Okay. The third part of this is a level circle, a ping circle. And this is where you had a little problem. All right. Press down. All right. So there's actually a lot going on in that little section there. The first thing you've got to get is your footwork. So your weight starts on the left. Shift your weight to the right, lift your left toes, and let your toes turn with your waist turn. Now shift your weight back to the left and continue turning the waist and step up. All your weight on the right. So the weight goes from the left to the right, to the left, and then again to the right. So you're just standing on your toes or on the ball of your foot. Weight from the left to the right, to the left, and to the right again. One more. Left, right, left, right. Now you've got to coordinate your upper body with that lower body movement. All right. The first part of this, all right, you press down. All right. You've done the two circles, 1, 2, and now you bounce. And 1. 2. So the one is a little tricky, all right? First you bounce, and then this hand comes down across the body from the shoulder to the hip, all right, as you shift your weight. This hand is coming up from the hip to the shoulder, or the center of the body, actually. So one hand is going down, the other hand is coming up. And you're shifting your weight. Shift, 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 shift. Now, just move the toes at the same time. All right? Press down, bounce up, and 1, 2. Again, press down, bounce up, and 1, 2. Bounce up, and 1, 2. All right, you try it. All right, two things. One is on the first part, your hands and your arms should stay pretty close to your body. It's a matter of leverage. So you don't do this out here like this. All right? You do it close to the body. Bounce, and one, and then step out and keep your elbows bent. Keep your elbows bent. Bring them down. Your elbows should be down like this. Yeah, exactly. Melanie, this is something that you should do in every move. Never straighten your elbows out. Um, this is actually a martial art, and although we're not wrestling with each other, we still try to conform to the standards. The reason you don't want us to straighten your arm out is even if you're just practicing with a partner, they can accidentally hit your elbow. And if your elbow's straightened out, there's no give in it. So what happens is your elbow breaks. So you always keep some flex in your elbow. All right? It's never straight, it's always flexed. You flex it, and that way there's give in it. If somebody accidentally hits you, you don't have to go to the emergency room, all right? You may have a sore elbow, but you're not going to have a broken elbow. So you always keep some flex in your elbows. There's another aspect to this too, and that also has to do with leverage. This is a martial art, and a martial art always uses leverage as much as possible. Um, just like if you have to jack your car up to change the tire, uh, you have to have the right leverage or you won't be able to jack the car up, right? So it's kind of the same thing. So you can do things out here in an extreme manner, but you don't have much leverage. You don't have much strength. So instead of doing it like this, right, you do it in close to the body and use the trunk itself as part of this. You use the center. You use your center line. All right. So press down, bounce, and one, two. Good. Let me see you do it. Good. Okay. So the stage that you're in right now is level one. Your job as a student is to get the basic outer physical choreography. Because without that, you just can't go on. So you've got to have that to move forward. Um, so there's a billion details we could talk about, but we're not going to because you're not ready for them yet. After after you go through the form and you've gotten the basic choreography, then we might go through it again from the beginning and peel off another level of the onion. And after you've done that, maybe 6 times, so that would take you 3 years to do. You might have a fairly decent understanding of the form at that point, but you can't take on too much because it's just overwhelming. Right? So, for instance, when we do this move, the very first move in the form, what are you doing? What are you actually doing in real life? Yeah. Right into the solar plexus. All right. But how do you do it, right? So knowing what it is you're actually doing is called Shin Yi. Shin refers to the heart, Yi refers to the mind. So it's the heart mind. We translate it into English as intention. Um, And then you have to work on the energy channels to figure out, you know, if you're going to do that motion, how do you do it? How do you do it Tai Chi style, which is with more than just muscles. But this time through, just grab the outer choreography. Okay, let's do the whole first move. All right, let me see you do it. Okay, that's good enough for right now. You should probably watch the video of our class here this morning. You should probably watch it and follow the movements a couple of times. You hesitated a couple of times, so it was obvious you were a little unclear about things. Let me give you a couple of hints. The second part of the move. All right, we're doing it like this. Okay, watch the beginning of this. And so on. All right, that beginning. A more advanced version of it would look like this. All right. So I said it's a little more advanced version, but I showed it to you because that was one of the places you sort of hesitated. You need to go up all the way and then reverse your palms and then go on gently. This form should be done gently. I just demonstrated something called Fa Jin, which means explosive energy. But you shouldn't practice it that way. So I'm showing it to you so you know it's there, but you don't practice it. What you practice is the setup. You practice the mental and energetic pattern, but not the actual physical part of it. Because when you do Fa Jin like that, you're actually pushing energy out of your body. So it'll make you tired if you do it. So don't do it. But you should still know it's there. Now this third part has two sections. One 2. So just remember that. So the reason I'm telling you about this is to give you a milestone, to give you a marker, right? So it's not just this. No, you go up to your shoulders and then move on. Okay, let's go on to the second move, and we'll have to work on this tomorrow too, because we've only got about 15 minutes left. So the second move you were a little more iffy on. Let's just go through the parts of this, and then we can do a little more practice with it tomorrow. So the first part is turn and look ahead, sink and circle. Sink again, grab a fist with your right hand, right? And press out, walk through, relax, and 1, 2, 3. Circle. Push through, walk. And 1, 2, 3. Let me do it with my back to the camera. Circle, stretch out, walk through, and 1, 2, 3. One, circle, stretch out, walk through, and 1, 2, 3. One more. Circle, stretch out, walk through, and 1, 2, 3. One more. Okay, let me see you do it. Okay, so you're getting there. Let's work on let's work on where your weight should be, which leg your weight should be on. So through the whole thing. All right. My weight is on the right. It's still on the right. Now it's on the left. And it comes back to the right. Now it's on the left. And it stays on the left. It does not move to the right. Right? The weight stays on the left. And one, still on the left, still on the left, still on the left, still on the left. Right? Stays on the left. All right, this is my left. It's on the right, left, right, left, and it stays left, 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 left. Right? Even when I pop the ground, my weight stays on the left. You don't do this with your weight. All right? You just do it like this. Like you're flicking, like my favorite toy. I love it when I have an excuse to play with my favorite toy. Right? It's like a whip to the ground. A whip to the ground. Pop. Right? I just like to beat my cabinets up. One more. All right, weight is on the right, left, right, left, stays left, 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 left. Now the next move, it's got to shift to the right, but for right now, for that move, the whole end of the move, it stays on the left. All right? Okay, try it one more time. Okay, I tell you what, move back a little bit. I need to see your feet, and I'm just only seeing you from, yeah, that's good, that's good. Do it again, nice and slow. Okay, you're moving toward it, but we're gonna have to work on your stance. Do you know what a horse stance is? All right, so a horse stance is you're riding a horse, right? You got a 1,200-pound horse down there. Tai Chi is done in a horse stance, and we don't emphasize it too strongly, but in this move, it's kind of important. And I'll tell you why. The second move here is actually kind of tricky in a lot of ways, because you start in this dimension and then you step out in this dimension, and now you've got to rotate through 90 degrees. The only way to do that is to develop a horse stance. A horse stance can be very difficult, but it does not have to be all the time. So if you were at Shaolin Monastery in China, you would be forced to practice a horse stance like this. Now, stand there for an hour without moving. Well, you got to work up to it, right? That's for young kids. And he's laughing at me.
It'll make your core, and it'll give you thunder thighs.
It will give you thunder thighs for sure.
And it'll make your core solid.
It'll make your core very strong. So we're not that extreme, because That's for 16-year-old guys, all right? Or girls, but 16-year-olds. But we can still do something like that, and the really important part is your knees. Right? So, the problem comes when people bend their knees like this, straight forward. What that means is now my pelvis is closed. Hold on, let me get some pelvis tape here. Right? It means the pelvis is closed like this. It's almost like you're knock-kneed, right? Like Annie. What you want to do is open your toes a little bit, like you're standing there, and then have your knees go out at 45 degrees. And when you do that, your pelvis opens up. Right? When your pelvis is open, now you can turn your waist. If your pelvis is closed, it's very, very hard to turn your waist. So instead, you want it to be open. So let me do this move a little more advanced way for you, and watch my knees and my pelvis. You want to open this up. Now, the way I was doing it is way too advanced for you, but you can start working on the process of opening your knees and therefore your pelvis. Like I mentioned, in Shaolin Monastery and in Tai Chi training in China, you would work very low, but we don't have to do that. You can work high too. Just keep the conformation of your lower body like this. It's like you're a bow-legged, it's like you're Popeye the Sailor Man. It's like you're a bow-legged sailor man, right? You just got to be a little bow-legged. Now, the nice thing about this is it will build your body strength unbelievably. Come on here and talk to us so we can see you.
My toes. When you start developing your horse stance, you're going to rearrange the fascia, and you might be sore. When I first started this 13 years ago, I would have to go to bed with bags of peas, frozen peas.
I remember that.
And sometimes it would hurt so bad I would cry. But eventually I rearranged, and I also worked with a massage therapist who was really skilled with fascia, loosening the fascia. Yes, when you do the horse stance, you're asking your body to move in ways that it is not used to. But let me tell you, it's one of the best ways of building your core body strength. Because honestly, you're lifting your weight. I don't have to have weights. I've got weight. I'm lifting my weight.
Tai Chi will change and strengthen your body, and it starts from the ground and works up the legs.
Yes.
And then into the lower back and the pelvis and the abdomen, the abs here, right? Only later.
My toes.
And he's having breakfast, all right? So I remember the bags of frozen peas. Don't go that far. She was working too hard. But Annie had a problem when she started Tai Chi. Her right hip was almost frozen. So she had been that way since she was a little kid. So it was kind of frozen, and she, in a sense, almost sort of dragged it along. Now she'd gotten used to it, so it didn't look peculiar, but she felt it inside. And when she started the process of working in a horse stance, that challenged her. I mean, it was obviously, and then obviously the left leg was compensating for the lack of movement in the right leg, et cetera, et cetera. So what would happen is this leg would begin to unfreeze, and then this leg would hurt because her compensation was no longer compensating. So it went back and forth like that for probably 2 years before it all worked out. But the result of it is her legs now are much stronger than they were. Her right hip is unfrozen, and she no longer has this business about compensation back and forth. That's a very particular situation. But everybody sort of has something in their body that they're going to run across as they do this. So my advice to them would be, don't push it. Just pay attention to it. Go, okay, yeah, that's a little bit of a challenge for me. Just move into it slowly and gradually. Okay, so there's Kevin for the advanced class. Let's pick this up again tomorrow. We'll go from where we stopped today. Ciao.